What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, bringing home the bacon. MLB DFS video for Tuesday, April 9th, 2024. We are back with a full slate. It's not a full main slate. We still got some early games, which I'm okay with. We got an early slate, main slate. We've got it all. We've got it covered for you. If you've never been here before, welcome for the first time. If you've been here before, you know the spiel. So, previous videos, if any time you guys want to win free content, super simple, super easy ways to do it. First way, like the video, be a subscriber, and leave a comment. If this video gets at least 50 likes and you've left a comment, you have a chance to win a free week of FTA+. That's a free week of every single sport: baseball, basketball, PGA, NASCAR, football when it's back, all of the sports. If the video gets at least 100 likes and you leave a comment, you will have a chance to win a free month of FTA+. 150 likes is a chance to win a free $200 year pass, and 200 or more likes on any video, and you leave a comment, you have a chance to win a lifetime pass worth $500. The second way to win, like the video, be a subscriber, and tell me who's going to hit a home run and what inning are they going to hit it in. If you get both of those correct, send me a screenshot of your YouTube username with your prediction and a username that you would like on the website. So it's most likely to be the email that you send me to. The username and email that you would like on the website. But send that to me, dfshelp1@gmail.com. That's dfshelp, the number 1, @gmail.com. We'll get you set up for whatever pass it is. So, that being said, we are going to see who the winner of yesterday's video is. So everyone left a comment yesterday, liked the video, liked it up. We hit the goals that we wanted. So if you are the winner, like the video and let me know you saw it, and then email me, dfshelp1@gmail.com, and we will set you up with your free pass. So hopefully you had success and we can continue. So let's see who the winner from yesterday's video is real quick before we get started. So yesterday's video is in the comments. We're going to randomize this one time. We're going to hit start, and that will be the winner. You can win every single day. So if you win a year pass today, or the next day, you can win them, so on and so forth. If the video gets 200 likes, that means a lifetime pass. You can only win one time. So let's check out who the winner is for yesterday's video. Breezdale 3863. Talking about money lines for yesterday's games. So congratulations, Breeze. You have won. So let me know you saw this. And then email me, dfshelp1@gmail.com, and we will get you set up with the pass that we have. So whoever you have for whatever email you would want and username on the site, unless you have one on the site. If you guys already have one on the site, just let me know, and we will continue, and I'll just give that username the pass. So congratulations yet again, Breezdale 3863. So you can check out FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. You can check it all out. In the description of this video is today's article for this link. Click down below and check it out. It helps me out if you guys do that. Also, we have partnered up with DFS Hero. If you guys use our link and sign up for the first time and deposit, you will, if you get a monthly pass from them, you'll get I believe it's a 5-day trial, and then you'll be charged. So if you like what you see there, and you go ahead with the free month, or the month there, we will give you a free month of FTA+. If you guys like what you see and you sign up for a year, we're going to give you a year of FTA+ just as well. So definitely check that out. It's got to be first-time signups only. I have all the information, so if it does go through, I get an email saying user blah, blah, blah went through, and we will get you set up on the site. The other thing is the Discord link. In the Discord channel, we give out DraftKings and Fanduel plays, core plays, value plays. People ask questions. We give out lineup advice, sports betting. We give it all. I want to make it a great community. So you guys have started making this YouTube channel an amazing community with all the likes, all the comments, all the love and support. We're trying to give back in the Discord, so definitely check that link out as well. So again, check everything out on the site. MLB, we have a ton of information there. You can see everything we got, from projections to simulations to optimal stacks to ballpark ratings, everything. We've got it all. So if you've never been here before, at the end of this video, we are going to give you we do 20,000 simulations a day. We're going to give you the top 20 bats after 10,000 simulations. And then this is where I'll tell you, we do 20,000 simulations every day, and we put it into We update everything on the website about 2 hours before first pitch. So if you've been wondering, these are 10,000 simulations that we're going to go over. Things will change, but we will give you the rest on the website along with all the projections, Vegas odds, everything like that. So let's get started with breaking down the entire slate. If you've never been here before, hopefully you're in for a treat. We go through everything. So let's get started with the first game. So first game, Tigers at the Pirates, very early. It's 11:35 a.m. I'm not really sure why. I don't know why it's so early. But we'll look at this. Casey Mize versus Martin Perez. 11 plate appearances out of Mize. Really hasn't seen any. Martin Perez, 78 plate appearances, 274. Now, Casey Mize pitched for the first time in like 2 years his last start. And it didn't go too well. And they pulled him pretty early, which I kind of feel like they might do that again. They have not mentioned if he's on a pitch count, but I feel like he's going to be on a short leash. I don't think I want to pay up for him right now. Could have a great game tournament-wise. I'm okay with that. I would not trust him in cash. I would look at rather the Tiger bats. I want nothing to do with Martin Perez. He's not had success against them in the past. We can kind of see what he's done against them. And then we can check out the batters that would make sense. But Mark Canha, I love Mark Canha when he's against a lefty. Against Perez, 4 for 19, 2 doubles. I do like that. Gio Urshela against a lefty, 8 for 18 with 2 doubles and a home run. Javi Baez, probably don't like him much. 3 for 12 with a double. Spencer Torkelson, 2 for 8 with a double. Then Andy Ibanez and Jake Rogers both have a home run against him. So I would rather take the Tiger bats. I would rather look at Canha, Urshela, and you can kind of see who's had success. Carson Kelly, maybe if he's in there, I don't know. I would look at him. I would look at Matt Vierling as well. But for sure, if you are taking Tigers bats, Urshela and Canha would be my first two. Depending on if it's Carson Kelly, if it's Jake Rogers, I would look at which catcher is going to be playing. I would also look at Matt Vierling. You could look at a little bit of Colt Keith or Riley Green, but that's probably it. Just the way that I don't know. So Mize, when he is on, he's a stud. And then he had Tommy John. Then he had, I think, back surgery. And then they get to the bullpen. If I'm not taking him, I could look at Pirates bats. O'Neal Cruz, Michael A. Taylor. I like Taylor a little bit more against lefties, but he's there. Henry Davis, I don't mind. Rowdy Tellez against a righty. Would not be surprised if Rowdy Tellez hits a home run here. You could look at Brian Reynolds. You could look at Jack Sawinski as well. If you want to pay a little bit other, you could look at McCutchen. You could look at Triolo a little bit, but I would still stick with O'Cruz. Probably Brian Hayes a little bit. Rowdy Tellez and Henry Davis would be the bats that I'd look at in this one. So I don't like Mize today. Could have a good game. He's good when he's on. I just think he's on a pitch count right now. I don't want anything to do with Martin Perez. Orioles at the Red Sox. The Red Sox start off very hot. The Orioles have, they start off a couple of games with the Angels. Then they've kind of skidded a little bit. It's currently, I believe, Yankees, Red Sox, first and second, and then Baltimore, then Tampa Bay, then Toronto, I think how it goes. Corbin Burns is a stud. We know this. Has not faced the Red Sox much. 25 plate appearances, struck out 44%. So basically one start. Had a fantastic start against him. Now they're in Boston. Depending on what the weather looks like, I really like Corbin Burns here. He's the picture of the video and article for a reason. He's expensive. I get it. The Red Sox have been playing well on the West Coast. Now they come home. They've been playing well above their means, to be honest with you. So I'd rather look at Corbin Burns here. Bayo, though, has been pretty good, too. 36 plate appearances, 258 batting average. Honestly, at the moment, I like both of these pitchers. I'd rather have Corbin Burns as my cash option. I'd rather have Bayo as my tournament option here. And that's kind of what I would look at. None of the bats at the moment stick out to me. Once we get through the simulations, once we get through the Vegas numbers, the weather report comes out a little bit better. That will be when I form what bats we like. So in that instance, that is where the simulations come into effect. That is where the player projections come into effect to build upon the prop bets and the cheat sheet and the stolen base targets and stuff like that. So at the moment, I really like Burns for cash, Bayo for tournaments. Bats wise, none jump out at the moment. If we're looking on Orioles, it's probably Rushman. It's probably a little bit of Cedric Mullins. We could look at Santander. We could look at O'Hearn, like these guys. Red Sox side, it's been Tyler O'Neill. It's been You can look at a little bit of Rafi Devers. He is expensive, though, and hasn't dominated like we'd like. With Trevor Story being out, it opens up some value there. But I'd rather stick with Corbin Burns right now. Maybe news comes out that maybe he's limited or the weather or whatever, and then we can revisit the hitters with the cheat sheet and stuff like that. White Sox at the Guardians. You got Michael Soroka versus Logan Allen. Soroka's faced him one time, 25 plate appearances, 350 batting average, 16K percentage. I'm not looking at Soroka. I am looking at Logan Allen because the White Sox are bad. I would look at Logan Allen here. Hopefully he goes deep into games. 41 plate appearances, a 250 batting average. He's very hot or cold. I think he's a tournament pick. I'm not going to have any exposure to Soroka. I'm not going to have any exposure to Allen and Cash. I will have him in tournaments. And then the bats that I would look at for Cleveland, the Naylor brothers, Josh first, then Bo. I would look at Jose Ramirez. Obviously, you've got to have J. Ram in there. Andres Jimenez, I don't mind him either. Other options that might be there, we can definitely look at, but those are the ones that jump out to me right now. White Sox lost Luis Robert maybe for the year. I don't know. Eloy is Eloy. Andrew Vaughn has good numbers. Andrew Vaughn's the one bat out of the White Sox that stick out to me when I look at BVP, when I look at what he's been doing lately. So I would look at Andrew Vaughn, but I think I'd rather have Logan Allen a little bit. Brewers at the Reds. Joe Ross versus Frankie Montas. Ross, that rhymes. Ross, 8 plate appearances. I don't trust him, especially in this Great American Small Park. I don't trust him at all. I'm looking at Ellie De La Cruz. I'm looking at stacking. Frankie Montas, tournament I'm okay with, but I think I'd rather stick with the bats here. So Brewers bats, Willie Adames, Christian Yelich, Monasterio you could look at a little bit. Churio, obviously. With the Reds, Spencer Steer, Ellie De La Cruz, Jake Fraley against a righty, I don't mind at all. Let's just take a look real quick. Oh, no, next one. Just to see, especially at home. Yeah, Will Benson's there. He could do some damage. Spencer Steer, Nick Martini is one that people just aren't on right now, and I want to turn you guys on to Nick Martini. I want to look at him. Cheaper option. Great numbers right now, hitting the ball very hard. Will Benson, Ellie De La Cruz, Spencer Steer, Nick Martini. You could look a little bit at Jonathan India, Jamer Candelario, a little bit blue, but I don't mind Candelario either. So that would be what I look at. The Brewers bats that I would look at, Oliver Dunn's a cheap option. William Contreras, Christian Yelich, Willie Adames. Those are Sal Frelick a little bit. Those are the ones that I would use in this game. I really don't like the pitching right now. Tournament, you could throw them in there just in case. You never know, but I'd rather take bats there. Marlins versus Yankees, AJ Puck versus Carlos Rodon. Another battle of the lefties, which we saw yesterday with the Jesus Lizard and Nestor Cortez. Puck, 15 plate appearances, .091. While those numbers look good, it's very hard to take against the Yankees at Yankee Stadium against a lefty here. Kikuchi did have their number. I get that. But then they came alive after that. Rodon has been pretty damn good lately. He's way better than he was last year. He's been gritting it out. He's been sticking it out. I would look at Rodon here in a matchup against the Marlins. And I would look at the Yankees bat. So I would be looking at Glaber at the top. Anthony Volpe's batting like 7,000. Judge, Stanton, they're back. They look back. They look ready to go. Austin Wells, I would like him in there. I don't know if he's going to be up against a lefty. The other ones, it just depends on the lineup that comes out. John Birdie might be playing his former team yet again like he did on Monday. So that is what I would look at. I don't want anything to do with AJ Puck. I don't want anything to do with the Marlins. Give me all the smoke with Rodon and give me the Yankees bats there. Mariners at the Blue Jays, George Kirby versus Chris Bassett. Both teams have not lived up to what we thought they would be, or what people thought they would be right now. George Kirby, though, 25 plate appearances, 174 batting average. So basically, one start out of him and had fared well against them, 28K percentage. The Blue Jays have looked iffy. You don't know what they're going to do. You don't know if they're going to score. You don't know if their pitching's going to hold up. Chris Bassett, on the other hand, 88 plate appearances, 234 batting average, 23.9%. I will take both of these pitchers. I think Kirby is more of your cash option. I think Bassett is more of your tournament option, just for the fact that the Blue Jays might not score a ton of runs for him. They can, but they might not give him the run support he needs. The bats that we would be looking at, which is kind of wild when you'll see what I'm talking about. A lot of blue and not a lot of red for the Blue Jays. The bats for the Mariners, Cal Raleigh, if he starts, kind of blue, but I would use him. Julio Rodriguez I would use. J.P. Crawford I would use. Mitch Haniger, I'd like him against lefties better, but I would use Mitch as well. Flip side of that, Blue Jays have looked terrible to start. I mean, Justin Turner's been hitting the ball very well. His exit velocity is 93.6. Vlad, he will shush the crowd when he hits a home run down 7, which is stupid, but he could hit a little bit. Davis Schneider we could look at. George Springer leading off the games pretty well, you would look at. Bo Bichette has struggled mightily to start the season. Ernie Clements probably off the bench. IKF, it just depends. So the bats that I would use for Toronto, Justin Turner, Vlad, Davis Schneider, George Springer. You could look at Alejandro Kirk. If he doesn't hit a home run, he's not getting extra base. He is a fat man. Dalton Varsho a little bit I could see. And Kevin Biggio, I don't mind. But again, I'm really rather siding with pitching than I would with the bats in this one. They're just other games we can look at. Mets at the Braves, Adrian Hauser versus Reynaldo Lopez. I don't want anything to do with either of these pitchers. I would rather take the bats. I'm looking 100% at the Braves being one of the top stacks. Adrian Hauser, 98 plate appearances, 322 batting average against him. Lopez, 59 plate appearances, 220. I would rather take the Atlanta bats at home. Ozuna's 3 for 15 with a home run. Austin Riley, 6 for 16 with a home run. Ozzie Albies is 4 for 14. We've got Ronald Acuna against, he just sees Hauser well, 7 for 12 with a double. No home runs out of like Acuna, Matt Olson, Duvall, and stuff like that. I would still take Michael Harris. I would look at probably the bats I would use would be Ozuna, Riley, Albies, Acuna, Olson, Harris, Arcia, d'Arnaud. Like, I think you should make multiple different Brave stacks today. I think that's the way it's shaken out, that it feels like it could be good. So I would look on that. I would look at different multiple stacks. You could look at like 1 through 5 as a stack. You could look at the wraparound stack of 7, 8, 9, 1, 2, stuff like that. I don't want either pitcher, though. Then the Mets bats, I mean, it really depends on which ones jump out at you. But Brandon Nimmo has been hitting the ball very well. Alvarez has been hitting the ball well. Starlin Marte has got a lot of red. You've got Francisco Lindor here. Pete's been a little bit short, but I mean, this would be a game where he gets right on the ship against Reynaldo Lopez. Could see a couple of home runs out of him there. Those would be the ones I'd probably look at. Maybe a little Jeff McNeil, maybe Brett Beatty, but I'd rather stick with the red because they've been hitting a little bit better. But again, Reynaldo Lopez could be that cure, could be that Pepto-Bismol for the Mets' upset tummy, and they could right the ship for the night, not for the season, but for the night. So yeah, I don't want any of those pitchers. Then we got Astros at the Royals. This is at Kauffman. This is a pitcher's park. Christian Javier has had success in the past. 44 plate appearances, 243 batting average. But the Royals have actually been surprising people with as many runs as they've been putting up, even at home. And then Cole Reagan's 89 plate appearances, 221. Those numbers most likely come from when he was with the Rangers. So he's pitched well against them. The Astros haven't hit as well as people thought they would to start the season. They've looked a little sluggish, more at home than on the road, but we'll take what we can get. Bats, why? I think I'm going with Reagan's for tournaments. I don't know if I like Javier right now. Unless something pops out, I just don't think I do. I could be wrong, but at the moment, I don't think I do. The bats that have had success, we could see Adam Frazier's 3 for 9. You got MJ Melendez, 2 for 5. Bobby Witt Jr., 2 for 2 with a home run. I would look at Melendez, Bobby Witt Jr. I would look at Sal Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, Nelson Velasquez. These are the guys that I would look at against Christian Javier. Just hasn't looked, I don't know. There's something about him. I don't think I want exposure to Javier. I will take exposure to Reagan's, and I will take the Kansas City bats here. We get to the Dodgers versus the Twins. 40 plate appearances for Tyler Glasnow, 257. Love me Tyler Glasnow. Going to be expensive on this slate, but he's got a good matchup against the Twins. The Dodgers bats are where I'd go with here. I would look at Mookie, Freddie Freeman, Max Muncy. Depending on the lineup, you could look at James Outman a little bit. It depends on who's out there for the outfield. Louis Varland has actually 6 plate appearances, 167. It was surprising to see the Dodgers play, I guess we could say, as bad as they did against the Cubs, losing the series there. Varland for tournaments, I'm okay with. I don't love, and it'll be like one lineup if I make like say I make 50 lineups, he would be in one of them. And you can use DFS Hero to plug in our information, our projections in there, and make multiple lineups to mass entry to start being the whales, not being the fish. But Varland would make it in there a little bit. Twins bats, if you want to go against Glasnow because you think he's going to be highly owned and you want that exposure, you could look at Kirilloff, you could look at Byron Buxton, Carlos Correa. See if there's anyone that's had success against him. Carlos Santana, Max Kepler, 3 for 3 with a home run. Edward Julian, 1 for 2. Like, these guys are okay. Not much, though. If you're making multiple lineups, I could see the Twins as being one of those contrarian stacks, but I do like Glasnow tonight. Phillies at the Cardinals, you got Zach Wheeler versus Zach Thompson. Love me Wheeler here, 103 plate appearances, 204 batting average. Probably my favorite pitcher on this main slate overall versus Zach Thompson. Against the Phillies, I don't like Zach Thompson. I love Zach Wheeler, and I would be looking at the Philly bats. I'd be looking at Trey Turner against a lefty. Give me all of that. Kyle Schwarber against a lefty. Don't care. Give me Kyle Schwarber. Nick Castellanos, I don't mind. You could be looking at Brandon Marsh. It really just depends on the lineup that Philly throws out there. But we could look at Rojas would be a cheap option. Real Muto against the lefty. You always want to take a little bit of Real Muto. You always want to take Alec Boehm as well. So Alec Boehm, Johan Rojas, I don't mind. Nick Castellanos, Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber, Trey Turner. These are all the bats that I would look at. Now, Zach Thompson only given up 5 hits to this team. 1 home run, only 4 strikeouts and 26 plate appearances. Tournament, maybe you could go Zach Thompson, but I'd rather focus on Zach Wheeler and take the Philly bats instead. Next game, Oakland versus the Rangers. Alex Wood, 41 plate appearance, 205. I'd rather take Texas bats. And then we are still waiting on Texas pitching, so we don't know who's going to be pitching for Texas. But the Texas bats that I would look at against a lefty would be Adolis Garcia. I would look at, let's see if anyone's had success first. Adolis Garcia, 1 for 8 with a double. He's on roids, take him. Simeon against the lefty, 2 for 7 with a double and triple, so both of his hits have been extra base hits. Corey Seager, I don't mind if it's a lefty-righty there. Kind of the same thing with Jonah Heim. I would look at there. Maybe Ezekiel Duran if he's in there, or Leody Taveras if he is in there as well. So I am a big Texas bats right now, and I don't want either of these pitchers. Obviously, we don't know who Texas is throwing out there yet. If it's a stud, which I don't think it's going to be, we could revisit that with the projections. But as of now, I would rather just focus on the Rangers bats. And you really don't know what the A's lineup's going to look like until you get to the ballpark, basically, which I don't think they even know, which is wild. Diamondbacks at the Rockies, Merrill Kelly versus Cal Quantrill. Again, I don't want pitching in this for cash. I could see you doing Merrill Kelly because he's had success in the past, but I'd rather focus on the bats here for both because it's the Coors effect. You guys know this. Colorado bats that have had success against Merrill Kelly. Ryan McMahon, 6 for 35 with a double and 2 home runs. I don't mind him. Charlie Blackmon, 7 for 31 with a double. I don't mind him. Chris Bryant's 9 for 25 with 3 doubles and a triple. You've got Brendan Rodgers, 6 for 22 with 3 doubles. You've got Ezekiel Tovar, 4 for 10 with a double and a home run. Nolan Jones, 2 for 9 with a double. Eleris Montero, 3 for 8 with a double and 2 home runs. This is why I'm not taking either pitcher in cash. I'd rather focus on the bats. Then Cal Quantrill, we're looking at Corbin Carroll leading this game off. Jock Peterson in this stadium, 4 for 13 with a double and a home run. Eugenio Suarez, 6 for 14 with a double. Ketel Marte, 3 for 11 with a home run. Then Christian Walker's 5 for 12. 4 of those hits are extra base hits, 2 doubles, 2 home runs. Lourdes Gurriel Jr., both of his hits have been home runs. This is what I would look at. Gabriel Moreno. I am looking at multiple different Arizona stacks today. I don't want either pitcher. I'd rather focus on the bats. I'll have more exposure to the Arizona side for stacks, but you could make a case for Colorado because they've had success, mild success against Merrill Kelly, and it's at home. Next game, the Rays at the Angels. Aaron Savale versus Patrick Sandoval. Just considering all the other pitchers on the slate, I don't love these guys. I think they're good tournament options. I don't think they're cash options. Bat-wise, none really jump out to me other than on the Angels, Taylor Ward, Chenewell. Mike Trout would jump out. On the flip side, for the Rays against the lefty, Isaac Paredes, I'd look at. Harold Ramirez, you could look at. Let's see who's had success against him. Yandy Diaz is a good one, 3 for 11. Arozarena, 2 for 10 with a home run. So I don't mind them. Paredes does have a home run against him. Brandon Lau, 1 for 3 with a home run. So some of those bats you could look. Ahmed Rosario against the lefty, I don't mind, but he's not had success against Sandoval. So that is definitely something to look at, monitor. Tournament-wise, I could see both of these pitchers tournament-wise, but again, be like a couple of lineups, and that's basically it. I'd rather focus on the bats here for a late-night game. Then we got the Nationals at the Giants, Josiah Gray versus Kyle Harrison. This is a pitcher's park, so I don't mind either of these. And the Nationals are pretty bad. They're not a very good team. So Kyle Harrison, never facing them before. If you guys have been here, you know that I love taking a pitcher against a team that he's never faced before for tournaments. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. And it's in a massive pitcher's park. I will have exposure to Harrison. I don't mind Josiah Gray, but I'd rather take some of these bats against him. And just kind of looking at the bats that are hot. Let's see if anyone's had success. Jorge Soler's 4 for 15 with a home run. Lamont Wade Jr. 2 for 7 with a home run. Yastrzemski's got a home run. So does Tyro Estrada. And then we coincide that with how they've been doing. Lately, we look at this. Like you could look at Matt Chapman's been hitting well. Patrick Bailey, Jung-Hoo Lee, you could look at there. Lamont Wade Jr., Jorge Soler, Michael Conforto. These guys I would look at. Those would be the ones, like these top 6 would be the ones or 7 with Conforto. I would be looking at these as some sort of stack, depending if they're all playing. And then one-offs with different stacks would be Estrada. You could look at Yastrzemski. But these guys, the more red you see, the better. And people have asked what the website is. It's Baseball Savant. You can click in. It's all StatCast, and you can break it down even further with batted ball events and stuff like that. So really depends on how far you want to dig, but that is why we're here. So if you don't have time to dig, we do the digging for you. That's what FTA Plus is for. Then the final game on the slate is the Cubs versus the Padres. We do not have a pitcher for the Cubs. Last week, it was a bullpen game. It was Javier Assad the day before. Then it was a bullpen game where each pitcher did one inning. So I feel like that's probably where we're going to go here, and that's why we might not know who the pitcher is for a while. So we're not going to use the Cubs pitcher, most likely, except unless there's a long relief pitcher that they say someone's going to open for an inning. And then I think it was Ben Brown that we did use, and it actually worked out for us quite well. He was very cheap, and I can't remember what he did, but it worked out for us. I don't know if we're going to go with that same one again. We still got to wait for the news. It's kind of wild that we're seeing bullpen games first week of the season, now the second week. But you do have Joe Musgrove against the Cubs. Career-wise, 73 plate appearances, 271. I don't mind him for cash or for tournaments. I don't trust him for cash, though. The Cubs have been hitting well. If you're not going with Musgrove and you're looking at the Cubs bats, let's just take a look at the Cubs bats that have been hitting well. Chris Morel jumps out to me at the very top. Suzuki has been hitting very well. I would look at Suzuki against Joe Musgrove. I would look at Dansby Swanson, Michael Busch, Cody Bellinger, Chris Morel, Ian Happ. These guys have been hitting well to start the season. Now, if you want to check out who's had success against him, we could definitely look at that real quick. Dansby Swanson, 4 hits, 2 doubles, and 2 home runs, so all extra base hits. Cody Bellinger, 2 for 17, not well, but does have a double. Yan Gomes, 3 for 8, 2 doubles and a home run, so all of his hits have been extra base hits. Ian Happ, 3 for 10 with 2 doubles. Mike Tauchman, 2 for 6 with a home run. Chris Morel, 2 for 3 with a home run, and he's been absolutely on fire right now. These are the guys that I would look at, okay? Those are the guys I would look at there. Flip side for, depending on what, pitchers come for the Cubs, Padres bats, Jurickson profile, I'd look at Jackson Merrill, Fernando Tatis, Cronenworth, Manny Machado. These guys have been hitting very well to start the season. Guys that are cold right now, Kim, Bogarts, Capusano, Tyler Wade, they haven't been hitting the ball very hard at all. I would look at the top 5 for the Padres if that's the way you want to go. And I would look at the top 7 for the Cubs, figure out a way to build around a couple of stacks with the Cubs, and hopefully count your money afterwards. And there you have it. Those are all the games, all the pitchers, the bats in those games that are a possibility. If you want to see the five-ish pitchers and usually about 3 to 4 players at each position that we like, and then some stacks, those are in the description. That is today's article that coincides with this. But you guys are still here. Let's check out the top 20 bats through 10,000 simulations. Again, we do 20,000 simulations, so you got to go to the website, you got to go to our Discord to check out what we like the most after all the simulations. I usually run the simulations in the afternoon, and then it pops up what we need. So, looking at the top 20 bats, I don't think it's going to be a surprise right now. Through 10,000, the Colorado-Arizona game in Coors, it's going to show the most, but I don't think that's a surprise. So get a paper, pen, whatever you need. We are going to go over the top 20 bats right now, both on DraftKings and FanDuel. So looking at these, Corbin Carroll's number 1 against Quantrill. Ketel Marte. Jock Peterson is 3. Christian Walker is 4. Trey Turner is 5. So 4 of the top 5 are current Arizona bats. Number 6 is Acuna against Hauser, he's had success in the past. We've got number 7, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. 8 is Kyle Schwarber. 9 is Nolan Jones. 10 is Mookie Betts. 11 is Bryce Harper. 12 is Bobby Witt Jr. 13, Eugenio Suarez. 14, Gabriel Moreno. 15, Aaron Judge. 16, Jazz Chisholm. 17, Jonathan India. 18, Juan Soto. 19, Ryan McMahon. And number 20, through 10,000 simulations, Elly De La Cruz against Joe Ross in Great American Small Park. So out of the top 20 bats, we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Arizona bats, 2 Colorado bats, 3 Philly bats, 2 Yankee bats. We've got 1 Dodger bat, 1 Kansas City bat, and 1 Miami bat. So those are the top 20 through 10,000 simulations. We will update that later on. Go check out the website. Everything is here. Go check out a month. It's $29.99 for a month. It's basically $1 a day for all of this information in this video and even more on the website. Projections, cheat sheets, stolen bases, prop bets. You get it all. Check it out. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. Good luck on this slate. And as always, let's bring home some bacon. Peace!